Hello everyone, today we're doing a video I'm doing the video to create this adorable cookie kit that I created as part of the design team for PolkaDoodles crafting. So we're using some fun papers and images to make this adorable gift box with a pop-up a pop-up image, a little hard to catch on the video camera, and it contains all the ingredients to make cookies. Well, not all the ingredients, but to decorate the cookies, the fun stuff to decorate the cookies. So cookie cutters and sprinkles, of course a gingerbread man, since that's our featured image, and on the very bottom is the recipe for cookies, gingerbread cookies, and the adorable little image. Okay, so this box has been worn and tattered. Everybody's been playing with it for weeks. So let's get this in here, our ingredients to make this box. Okay, so hopefully I'm within view of the camera. Ribbon, which we're going to need later. Now here's all our pieces, which really aren't that many, so don't let the project frighten you. Okay, we're going to start with a piece of cardstock, cut it 7 by 7. And we are going to score that. Get the cutting blade up there. We're going to score that at 1.5 on all 4 sides. Just like this. Just want to make sure it's scored well. 1.5 on all 4 sides. Okay. Okay, completed. Now let me find some snips here. Didn't have scissors out. Okay, so what we're going to do then is just come in and snip up here. Just miter that a tiny bit. Oh, I think I have some adhesive on there. Okay. Again, we're going to cut up to here, just to the score line. And just miter the edge a little. Same thing on this end. Cut again right up just to that score line. And just indent those edges a little for better folding. Okay, and one more time. Again, I really hope you can see this. Okay, there we go. Now, I am going to use tape seal for the purpose to attach this, just to make it quicker so that we're not doing glue time. But first I'm going to score our little score lines. All these score lines scored. I think I got them all. Okay, so again, I'm going to use tape seal just to make this fast, so we don't have to wait for things to dry to move on to the next. You'll want to use glue for yours so that you know that the project is nice and sturdy. Now just line your corners up into a nice square. Yeah, should have done this the other way, but some tape seal. This box is not going to stand the test of time because I'm only using this tape seal on it. But if you use glue on yours, it'll be nice and sturdy. And I'm sure there's better ways to tape seal this. Okay. All right. there's our box. Pretty quick and easy. All right, our next piece of cardstock is cut at, and if you can believe it, I lost the measurements. I found them. This one is cut at 4 by 11. And what we're going to do with it is score it at 2. Oops, get the cutting blade there. We're going to score it at 2. And rather than fool around with crazy measurements, this is how I did this. We're still going to be scoring. Actually, I think this is where some repositionable tape came in handy. So this is what I did. Put some repositionable tape right there. And I attached it right here onto the bottom of the box, where it would be. Then I put it here like this, or if you're using another scoring tool. So there is where I want my score line to be. I have it lined up. So I'm just, because this needs to have a little more gap so it isn't too tight. I hope you understand what I mean. So the next score line would be here. Hopefully that was correct, because it looks kind of big on there now that I'm looking at it. Okay, we'll just run with that. So then, that tape didn't work very well, did it? Let's put that back on there. Reposition that again. Okay, back to this. This was our score line, our next score line. So we're gonna fold that over, and I still think it's too big, so ignore what I just said. Come back in here. Bring that score line up a little. There. You just want it to be just past the edge right here, the lip of this box, so that it has just enough room to fold. And because I did that twice, I'm gonna have to come in with the, there, I'll crease it like that. Hopefully it'll be okay. Okay. Now again, our next one would be like this. Now, I could have gave you the wonky measurements the way they came out, but I just find it easier to score this way. So there is where that would need to be. Again, we're going to score right there. Just give that a little head start. I can sometimes use my fingernails for scoring. There we go. And we're almost at the end. So we've wrapped this around with our score lines. We're on our last one. Make sure that butts up tight into the box, and just a little bit of give, let that fold back. Make our last score line. I know, kind of a crazy way to do it without measurements, but the measurements end up so wonky that it's just easier to really do it this way. Sort of rolling the whole thing across your board. And there you can see that's going to fit just nicely. Yes, we are going to have an opening. I have a fix for that. Guess if you had a 12-inch length of cardstock, you wouldn't have to do this little patch. I don't. I only have 8 by 11s, so I'm going to do this. And hopefully tape seal is strong enough. I have a 1 by 4 piece of cardstock. I'm going to apply this tape seal again. For the sturdiness of the box, when you're making it for your project at home, you should use glue because it's going to fasten it down a lot better. And we're just going to run that across there for just just to make a tiny patch. So now we have a sleeve. I also feel some glue. That isn't gonna work out right. I got glue on that part. I shouldn't have. One by four. Well, I'll just add a new patch. One. I kind of thought that when I was putting the adhesive on that I was going to have it in the wrong place, which I did. So this time I'm going to... tape seal isn't being nice. I'm going to put it on the two edges. I knew I would run out of tape seal. There we go. Oh, nice. Tape seal, not always the most reliable. Okay. I have some tape seal on there. We want this down like this. Hold our box in place right there. And just tape that on there. I have a little hanging over the edge. It'll be fine for the intent of showing you the project today and how it's going to work. See, the box is going to slide in and out. Very nice. Now, for this next part, we can take our sleeve off of there. And for this part, I like to do the next part. We're going to poke a hole for some ribbon. I am using a very tiny hole punch. I like to do it on the side of the box where I did not construct and put the edges together. So I'm just going to eyeball it and come in about what I think is the middle. It totally may not be. I'm going to punch a hole. And next, I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. That should be fine. And just double it up. Stick these two ends in through that little hole. Where am I? No, seriously, I am. Okay. Now, just leaving enough to make a little loop for a handle. You're going to pull in your Scotch tape inside the box like this. And tape those down. I have a piece for this side. I hope you can see this. You're just taping those down inside to hold your little handle securely. So now you have a little handle to pull this out of the sleeve. Like so. It's really the hardest part of the box. The rest is decorating, other than our little pop-up mechanism. So we are just going to use some tape seal for these pieces. Actually, let's go ahead and make our little inside piece. So our little inside piece is cardstock again, cut at, I believe this one is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And hopefully it is going to fit. Yep, it fits inside our box. Okay, so we have 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And this little piece should be trimmed at just under. My measurements were a little off, but it's still going to work as long as the recipe is legible, and you're basically just making a border edge for it. So I'm just going to line it up like that. Oh, my hole punch through holes everywhere. Okay, so we're just lining that up like that, and that is going to go in the inside of the box as a liner. It serves as a liner for the bottom of the box, but also contains the recipe for the cookies. And all of these are printables from the Gingerbread and Holly bundle of products, digital products from PolkaDoodles. So, okay, I'm going to put that in there for now. We're just going to quickly decorate up the rest of this box. And again, remember, if you're going to make this at home, just use glue to be sure everything is nice or fits nicely. So you don't have to tear things apart like I just did. That's a good job. That tape seal isn't as good as they say it is. All right. This isn't perfect. You can make yours perfect at home. This one isn't going to be. So we're just going to decorate the sides. Oh, these are cut at, I believe this was, so this is just under the 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. This one, these ones again are cut at 4 by 1.5, but technically could be trimmed a little because it's a little over the edge. But the idea today is just to show you how to get the box done. I'm just going to trim it a bit, but really I'm not going to worry about it because this isn't the perfect one. Yours is going to be the perfect one. Okay, again, this end, and as I said, these, the it's 1.5 by 4. It should be 1.5 by 3 7/8, I believe. Just so it's not too long. So you have a little red border. And, oh yes, this was for the front of the box. So let's see if I can do this. What are the chances I can get the hole in the right place? Should have did that first. I did not. Probably isn't correct. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, when you make yours, just add that little piece before you remember to add this piece of pattern paper before you do your before you make your little ribbon handle. It's still okay. It's still okay. There we go. Okay, so now we have our box, the little pattern paper on it that needs to be trimmed nicer. What else do we have? I have a tag that I've cut that's roughly 2.5 by 2 with a sentiment, also from the Gingerbread and Holly download at PolkaDoodles. All the paper, everything came from the same download. There are tons of beautiful images to use on your project. Fun gingerbread themed. Now, I maybe could have picked out different ribbon. I'm just going to do this like this. So yeah, okay, I'm not going to tie the bow there. What I am going to do is go like this. Again, I'll just pull in that Scotch tape. Secure this right in the center. Here we go. And this project is, I feel like I'm making it pretty haphazardly. Normally I would take a lot more care when making the project. But I'm just trying to be quick to just show that on the decorating end, because I just want you to see how the box is all. actually constructed. So you can see that it really isn't that hard. It's just that some more gluing time should have took place. Okay, there we go. And actually, nice. We'll do it like that. Okay, there we go. And then we would just stick that on with a piece of foam tape. I've got one right here. And we'll use a piece of foam tape to secure this little tag. And we're really almost done. Almost. You want to, of course, know how to... Your image. I used a pre-colored image on my original project, and the pictures for the blog and for the design team. I used Copic colors to color the project because that's just what I like to do. But today we're being quick. Plus, it's also nice to show you that you can print the image out pre-colored if you don't like to color your images. That's perfectly fine. Not everyone likes to color, and you can still make beautiful projects with these pre-colored images without having to color if that's not your thing. So I'm just adding an extra little die cut piece to give him some nice, to give him some stability. And actually, I just thought of something ahead of myself as usual. Let's see if I can get him back off of here. There we go. Boy, we could count the mistakes I made in this. There's many, but okay. That'll work just fine. I've got that open back up. I have this. It's a piece of 1x4 window sheet. I'm going to attach this in here, and I'm going to use some, well, I'm going to use some tear and tape. A few strips of tear and tape down this. And I'm just going to make sure they're all secured down. There we go. Good job I have these fingernails. Okay. Now, we are going to just see, I'm just tucking this in between these two panels. And I'm leaving this much space hanging out. And then I'm going to secure this down. So we've now made sort of like a popsicle out of this image. He's got a little stick to hold on to. That is now going to get placed just under here. So just under the edge of your box. And I'm going to secure it in place. Secure that tape so it's holding nice and tight. And if you want to, you can come back in with a piece of Scotch tape. And if you don't want that to be seen, all of this surgery in here, you can cut just a piece of your scrap paper and apply it across there to, if you want to cover that up. Really, I don't think anyone's going to notice, but if you want to, then you certainly can. If you want to make it a little cleaner looking, just be sure that your designer paper doesn't come up above this, or it's going to impede with this bouncing back like this. So this guy is now like spring-loaded, as you can see. Really cute. Isn't that super cute? And done so easily. So just take your thumb, tuck him back in like this. Into the box he goes. And we're ready to open. And he pops up. I think it's quite adorable, the little box. And yeah, so that was it. I hope I covered everything. All we have to do is fill this back in with our with our cookie cutter and some icing and some sprinkles and everything is, he might be sticking up. Let's try again. There we go. And how delighted is somebody going to be to get this little gift? Incredibly easy to make. The items inside were simply found at the local dollar store, so very easy to find. And then you just pop that open, a little man pops out, the gingerbread man pops out at the recipient, and they have the ingredients to decorate cookies for the holiday season. That is super fun gift. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you love this project.